welcome back to DADI SOS, Study on Spotlight. I'm Nikki, your host, and we have a very special guest today, Tina, who has experience in teaching high school kids. Okay, so today we are going to chat about study tips, exam preparation, and how students can navigate their education journey. So let's dive right into it. So Tina, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you for
Yes.
having me. It's nice to be here.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about your background in education?
Okay, so my name is Tina and I am from Penang. So as usual, I was enrolled into a government school and I did my primary education in SK Bukit Minyak. And then after that, I did my secondary education in Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Tinggi Bukit 𝗚𝗚𝗃𝗃, which is also known as High School Bukit 𝗚𝗚𝗃𝗃. Okay, after that, after SPM, I took a year break and I pursued my foundation in management in UNITA International University, 𝗓𝗏𝗧𝗦. After completing my foundation, I did my bachelor degree and I chose Bachelor's in Education, Teaching English as Second Language in MSU Shalom.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay, that sounds amazing. Okay, so what did you major in and why did you choose that path?
Okay, so I majored in TESOL, so basically in education, but teaching English as second language. And why I chose that is because after SPM, after finishing my foundation, I was lost. So I spoke to my family, I spoke to my sister especially, thinking what I should focus on or what should I pursue. And she told me something that I never realized, which is I have a skill that is, I'm very good with kids regardless of their age. So she said, why not pursue something that you would be able to use your skill in? And that is why I chose education. Yeah.
Actually, I can see it through your IG stories and I could tell, like, you know, you and your kids. Yeah, the interaction is very different, I can feel.
Thank
compared
you.
to other teachers. I
Yeah.
feel like your students actually gravitate towards you.
Yeah, and that is also another reason because growing up, back in school, me, my friends, we don't have like a teacher to rely on. So I wanted to be that teacher.
Aww,
Yeah.
that's really nice.
Thank you.
So what inspired you to become a teacher? Was teaching always something you knew you wanted to do?
So to be honest, I did not know that I could teach because coming back to like when I was in Penang growing up, my mom used to babysit a lot. So instead of playing with them, I will just pretend to be a teacher
No,
with them. Yeah. So I teach them like because they are very young. So I'll sit with them, I'll color or I'll teach them ABC, anything with numbers. So even the games that we play at home, I will relate it with teaching as long as they learn something. But I didn't know. I didn't realize that. So my mom told me that I had that in me. My sister told me. So that is why I was like, why not become a teacher? You know, use the skill that we have and do something that we're passionate about.
your mom is right.
Thank you. I hope she is.
She is right. All right, now let's talk about the tough stuff. Studying. Okay. What are the biggest mistakes you see students making when studying for exams like SPM or IGCSE?
Okay. This is based on my experience and as a former student, I took everything very lightly because I felt like, oh, after SPM, I still can figure things out, you know, and everything. So what students do currently, like the mistake that they do is they don't put in effort to actually study. It's not like they can't. They just don't want to. Yeah.
They don't want to.
They don't want to. It's just like sometimes, you know, you're just lazy.
Yeah,
you just
I think
want to
it's just lazy,
chill.
yeah? It's just maybe like the reading part, like they just feel like, nah.
Yeah,
skip
so
that.
when it comes to theory, you know, history, most of my students, they tell me like, teacher, why must we learn this? You know, they ask me, but too bad it's in the syllabus, you know, you have to learn. But yeah, they take everything so lightly.
Okay, you know what? I really, really agree with that, as we were once a students too. Yes. So we understand that feeling. So is there any like study techniques you have found to really work when preparing for exams?
Okay, back in school, I tried. So it's not like I completely gave up because I felt like I couldn't study. I was not a studious child growing up.
Same.
Yeah,
I was not as well.
I was so playful. And now I'm a teacher, so I understand that struggle, of my teachers having to deal with students like this. So I was not very studious. So back in high school, the subjects that I like, I will put in extra effort by taking down notes, going back home and studying. But the subjects that I feel like it's too tough for me, I don't do anything about it, which I regret, to be honest. And my students do the same. They feel like what subjects that they like, they pay extra attention, So, but my study tips along the way I found is that taking down notes. When you pay attention, when in class, when you pay attention, you just listen to your teacher because whatever they say is important.
It's true.
So just take your book, just write down and make sure your notes are colorful.
Highlighters,
color
sticky
pens,
tabs.
yes, sticky notes, just paste it all over your notes. Because when you look back, when you're going to revise and everything, you will be actually like, wow, okay, I want to study.
Yes,
it makes you
actually.
feel that way, it makes you feel good. If you're just scribbling something, your handwriting is just all over the place, you wouldn't have the interest to study.
I actually agree with that. I prefer like writing down notes, like instead of like writing down like on your laptop.
Yes.
Because when you write down on a laptop, it feels that, why is it not going in my head?
Yes.
But when you write it down, you can actually register, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
This is the history. And then you actually get better insight.
Yes, true.
I agree. So please start writing, yeah?
Start writing.
How can students improve their English writing skills? Maybe something that relates to acing the IELTS.
Okay. So IELTS, for what we know, it's known internationally. So it's just like 𝗚𝗚𝗏, but 𝗚𝗏 is Malaysian-based.
Yes.
Okay, so IELTS, it's much, I would say it's difficult in terms of proficiency. But if you want to study abroad, you have to sit for your IELTS.
Yes.
So, and writing is not easy. So as a teacher, that is what I would say. Reading, listening, speaking, you can score. But writing, it's a bit difficult because your spelling, your choices of words, your vocab, it depends on that. So for those who are taking IELTS, I would suggest you to please read a lot of books. Yes, to improve your vocab. Because when I am marking their exam papers back in school, I realized those who actually have a good vocab grasp and those who have lower vocab grasp. So you can identify it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I ask those students, what do you do? Like, how do you know these words? Sometimes I'm just amazed. Like, I have to Google, what does this mean? So when I ask them, I realize that my students who read English novels or they just watch English movies, reading subtitles, it actually helps you to improve your vocabulary.
Maybe I should do that too. Actually.
I should do that.
That's a good tips, yeah. Do you think past year papers actually help, or is there a more effective way to study? This is advice like for SPM and IGCSE students.
Okay. I wouldn't say it helps you like 100%. It still depends. It comes back to you actually, whether you are putting in effort to study, to understand the topic. And then after that, past year papers is just like a bonus to help you practice, to help you remember back whatever you have learned back in school or with your revision. Yeah, so you can use past year papers because sometimes they will reuse the questions.
Yes.
1 or 2 at least. Yeah, so
during my time, like they didn't even reuse anything. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
like sejarah or BM or what? Like say,
Like-
cikgu say you need to refer like to the past papers because most of it will come out 5 or 6. During the exam, none.
yeah, but it helps you practice, right? Like
Yes.
certain questions, like because past year papers, 1 or 2 questions will be very hard. So you can practice answering the questions. Maybe your exam paper, they'll just revise, just reuse the words or maybe change here and there, but the question is the same. If you
Right.
realize, yeah.
They probably just tweak the English a little bit,
Yes.
It's still like the same question, but different
Different way, yes. So you really have to, you can use past year papers as a practice, yeah, but just don't depend on it 100%.
Right. Staying motivated, we know for students is actually very tough, yeah?
Very.
Especially with all the stress. So how do you recommend students to avoid burnout?
So students if you ask me, like Nikki, okay, I ask you back then in school, what do you think that, as a student, what is your, how do you manage your time?
Okay, how do I manage my time?
Do you have like extra, like is your timetable packed?
Yes, it's always packed.
Okay. So what do you do after school?
Okay, I have tuition.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, because my mom wants me to be smarter, yeah? so
Yeah, tuitions.
so we had like a lot of tuition. So my schedule like on 1 week is like three times I have a tuition at home, but different subjects.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. But I think like for some people, they would just like chill.
Chill, yes.
Yeah, do like co-curriculum activities.
Yes. Okay. So certain schools, like government school, we finish earlier. Okay. Those who are studying in international or private school, they finish later.
Yes,
So because their
right.
syllabus is like, their timetable is longer. The hours are longer. So I've taught in both schools, government and private. So in government school, like they tell me like, oh, after school I have tuitions. But as a student, that's your job. Like that's the only thing you have. You go to school, you come back. Your extracurricular is also during the school hours.
Yes.
You come back home, you do what you need to do, your homework, or then you have to go to tuitions. That's it. Okay, but sometimes like parents send them to extra classes, not tuitions, but like extra, like skill-based outside. So if you feel like it's too overwhelming for you, sit and tell your parents that I can't do this at the moment. Like especially for SPM students, Form 4, Form 5. I think the lower secondary, they still can cope. But if you feel like you're just getting too tired, first talk to your parents. Tell them that, okay, maybe certain classes you have to like cut,
and reduce your schedule,
schedules. And another one is always prepare a timetable. That is going to be so helpful. Because once you write down your timetable, you can allocate your time. You will have leisure time. You will have to do, go to tuitions and whatnot. But at least you will make some time for yourself.
Correct.
Yeah. And, with timetable, it comes discipline. So once you practice that every single day, it's like a routine. Yeah. So I think with that, you will not feel like, oh, I'm just burnout, or I'm so tired, mentally drained.
But you know what? At one point, I actually felt that burnout because like the timetable was so packed.
Yeah.
After like school, it's like tuition, like 3
Yes.
days in a row. I do feel like it's a bit taxing on your mind.
I understand because when I was in Form 4, Form 5, especially in Form 5, I had to go back to tuition, meaning like retake my Form 4 subjects. So
yes.
my school finished at 3:15. I'll be back at 4. By 6, I have to be at tuition. I'll come back home at 10:30. There's no time for me to do homework. I'm so exhausted.
Yes.
That is when it, I realized I was slacking. But over time, I told my dad that, I need to cut down certain subjects. Yeah, so.
Okay.
But then if you cut down certain subjects, make sure that you are doing your own revision at home. Just don't feel like, oh, I don't have to go to tuition anymore. Yeah.
Yes, that discipline, you need it. Now, we will talk about unpopular opinions about education. Okay, here's a big one. Is SPM really that important? Or are there other ways for students to make their way into the future?
Okay.
I know this is like unpopular.
Yeah, I know because even my students, now they are in Form 5, they tell me, teacher, SPM is not that important.
Yes, actually, I've been reading like a lot of articles.
Yes.
And they mentioned that majority of the students actually pull out from high school.
And some of my, even Form 2 students told me that I don't want to study. After this, I just want to go and work at the workshop, bike workshop. And I'm there like, you think it's that easy? Because even fresh grads, it's so difficult for us to get a job. So the competition is going to be there. You want to quit high school, you want to, don't want to sit for SPM or IGCSE. Do you think that it's going to be easier when you go out there?
Exactly.
Yeah. So the road is going to be difficult. I'm not saying that, okay, after SPM you don't want to study, or even during SPM you don't want to study. That is on you because you are going to face the consequences later.
Correct.
But I wouldn't say it's 100% it's going to determine your future. No. Because after that, I was not a studious student. My SPM, my grades, was not that good. But when I did my foundation and my master and my degree, my grades were excellent. So I realized it's not that I couldn't study. It's just that I didn't want to back then.
Yes, I get you.
So the pathways for those who, do SPM and those who don't, it's not going to be the same, but both is also going to be equally tough. Yeah.
I get you. So conclusion is, yes, you need education.
Yes, you need education.
Okay, so please study.
Study, guys.
Now we talk about tuition, the one that we mentioned earlier.
Okay.
It seems like so many students rely on tuition. Do you think that they rely on it too much instead of self-studying? Actually, honestly, I don't think it's bad because if it helps you, then why not?
Yes, because, students have different proficiency, and some students, they don't get help at home. Parents are too busy, they're working, you can't blame
or maybe
them.
Financial issues.
Yes. So, it's okay to go to tuitions, but when you come back the next day, it's okay, I have another tuition, I don't have to study. Even you go to tuition, it's not for you to sit and just chill with your friends,
And it's not to ask your tuition teacher to solve your
homework.
I do it.
No, you can ask them, but not like, teacher, can you
counting for me?
So you go to tuitions, it's extra, how to say this? It's like an extra practice for you, and you get guidance instead of sit at home and you study. If you're good at it, don't go for tuition. You feel like, okay, I can comprehend this, I can understand, I can do my own notes, I do my practices, then you don't have to go to tuition. But if you feel like, oh, I need someone to guide me, to teach me, then I would understand better, then I don't feel like it's wrong to go to tuitions. But people these days, they'll say, oh, you send your kids to so many tuitions for what?
I know.
Right? It's fine.
It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
As long as they learn.
Yes, it's okay to get help. Yeah.
Okay. So conclusion, discipline.
Discipline. Back to discipline. Make sure you're learning wherever you go.
So last one for unpopular opinion section. Should students be memorizing so much for exams?
Okay. So instead of memorizing, this is what students do, they just memorize everything. You have so many subjects. Some take 10 subjects, 11 subjects. Are you going to memorize every single thing? You're not, your mental capacity is, it's going to be, there's a limit to it. You can't just memorize everything and then just go warm it out on the paper.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it's about comprehension, whether you understand what you're learning. That is so easy compared to memorizing. And this is what students say, I just memorize that, teacher, it's okay. History especially, it's okay, teacher, I just memorize. Okay, but few years down the road, when I ask you back about the history, you'll be like, oh, I don't know, I don't remember.
Okay, they memorize, but they don't understand.
Yes, that is what I emphasize on my students. Let it be theory-based subject or anything at all. Make sure you understand. Once you understand, it's easy for you to write. The question can ask you anything. If you understand, you can just go there and you can write based on what you understood.
Exactly.
So why put yourself through a tough position to just memorize? Some students can't even memorize. They find it difficult to memorize, right? So you just sit there and trying to memorize. At the end of the day, you don't learn anything.
It's true.
Yeah. So instead of memorizing, I would say try to understand it. If you don't understand, go back to your teacher, ask them.
Yeah. Or writing down.
Yes, writing down. So your teacher's job is to make sure you understand at the end of the day. So ask them. If you don't understand the second time, ask them again and again and again. If your teacher get tired, I'm sorry, but that's their job. So just ask.
Don't be afraid, just ask.
Don't be afraid. Yes, don't be afraid. Just go up to them. Teacher, can I have extra classes?
Yes.
Yeah. So make sure you understand at the end of the day.
Okay, so let's talk about the future. Do SPM or IGCSE results really determine what a student does later in life?
Okay. I wouldn't say 100%. Yeah, it does, because those who do well in SPM or IGCSE, you have a wider prospect. Opportunities are out there. But those who don't do so well, your career options are limited.
True.
So why do you want to be your own limitations?
That was deep.
Yeah. So
That's
you
true.
see, like for example, me, I did not score so well for SPM. I had to fund my own education. I couldn't go
Yes.
into government uni. I couldn't go study abroad. You know, that is because at the end of the day, it comes back to your results.
Yes.
So if you feel like you cannot do like so well or extremely great like compared to straight A students, as long as you are trying.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Make sure you try. Make sure you put in effort. Don't just sit there and say, I cannot. And then you don't do well, you know?
If you don't try, you will never know.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So just try your best to score good results.
Yes.
Yeah.
true.
Something that you can make, something that will make sure that you can enroll later on for your tertiary education. Yeah.
Okay, now next question.
Mm-hmm.
So what should students really think about when choosing what to do next after high school?
Okay. First of all, don't feel pressured because some of your friends might be leaving to study and, you know, don't feel pressured. Take your time, okay? And do survey. Do your survey. Google, you know, you have your handphones these days, you know, your laptop. Just go and survey. There's so many opportunities waiting for you, whether, you know, you want it or not. So if students want to go to private uni, you know, your financial is good, you know, and all of that, speak to your parents, pursue that. If you want to study abroad, there are so many educational platforms, right, for
Or you want to study abroad?
Yes, if you want to study
you can
abroad.
contact us.
Yes, you can contact DADI
Yeah.
Services. It's like an educational service. It's like an educational consultant, I would say, where they, how do I put this into
Okay,
words?
we are a study abroad agency. We
Yeah.
have about like 700 plus schools with us.
6
and
different countries.
6 different countries. Actually, not globally.
Globally,
Yes. But depends. So you have to check back with us.
Yes,
And
go
then
to
we'll
their
let you know.
website. If you want to study abroad, I would definitely suggest this because back then I wish I knew. You know, I had this DADI Services, you know, this agency to actually lay out your career pathways for you. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure most of you want to study abroad. Who doesn't want, right? So always do your survey. Make sure you lay out your career pathways and then speak to an educational consultant, speak to your family. Make sure go prepared. Tell your parents that this is what you want to do. This is, you know, we have these services and everything. Explain it to them and make them believe that you actually have a career in this.
Correct. But if you're really not sure what to do, it's okay.
It's
Just
okay.
come talk to us.
Yes, come to and
Yes.
talk to DADI
Come
Education.
to Daddy. We got you. Okay, so next. Okay, so Tina, this has been such an insightful conversation. Before we wrap up, what's one thing you think students will regret later in life if they don't start doing now?
I would say if you don't start putting in effort, you will definitely regret. I wished I put in more effort back in high school.
Actually, I second that.
Yeah.
I really wish I put in more effort.
Effort, right? Because
Yeah. Because now adulting's a bit hard.
it is. It's not easy. So it was actually a limitation when when we did not put in effort, right?
Yes.
You know, you had to fight your way, finding your
Yes.
career pathways and everything. Yeah, so just start. As difficult as it may seem now, I'm 100% sure if you put in efforts now, it will bear fruits later in the future. So if you feel like, oh, I just don't want to study, no, start now. Don't feel like, oh, there's tomorrow, there's day after tomorrow, next week maybe I'll start. If you keep doing that, time waits for no man, right? So in a blink of an eye, you will reach your SPM date and you will sit there regretting every life decision that you made.
It's true, actually.
Yeah.
So for those like students that are feeling lost or like unmotivated about their future,
Yeah.
I think like you guys can just like take it easy, you know, if your schedule is really too packed, too full,
Yes.
even like after school hours, you need to talk to your parents.
Yes. Don't feel pressured, but just, you know, those who feel like I don't have a future. It's okay. It's okay to feel like that in school, but make sure you do what you need to do to finish your high school first. your secondary education.
Yes.
Later on, if you do well, that's great. If you don't do well, as long as you put in effort,
Yes, that's all it
So
matters.
after that, you can take a few months break, a year break to sit and figure out your life. Yeah.
Yes, take your time. You're still young.
Yes.
We are old.
Even, life begins at any age, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But just, put in the effort, and I'm pretty sure everything will go smoothly.
Yes. Okay, don't worry. If anything, Daddy SOS.
Yes.
Okay, so lastly, Tina, if you could leave one life-changing lessons for students, what would it be?
Okay. It's just like what I said before. The world out here is not easy. Once you step out of high school, it's not easy. There's going to be so many people and so many things that are going to stop you from doing or pursuing what you want to do, especially what you love or what you're passionate about. But make sure you are not that person. So don't be your own limitations. Okay? And another thing is, don't take everything for granted.
Yes,
You
I
will
agree.
you will never know when life would just flip 360, and you will sit there questioning like, okay, what now? Because I was in that position. I just wanted to stay home, not go pursue my education. Yeah, so everything just changes in a flick of a finger. So don't take things for granted. And lastly is just don't restrict yourself from doing what you truly desire.
Yes. And don't feel pressured by your friends.
Yes,
Yeah?
just because your friend is doing medicine, I should also do medicine.
Oh yeah, actually, before we end, we should talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't feel pressured by society.
Don't feel
Yeah.
pressured by anyone. Let it be your parents, it's okay to ask for opinions on what should you do. It's okay to take in opinions, but always have an open mind.
Yes.
Yeah. So always look back, sit and think, what do you really want to do? What are you passionate about? Because I believe if you do or you pursue something that you are passionate about, you will do so well.
That's really true.
You don't want to wake up every single day thinking that, why am I going to work? Why am I
Yes.
studying this course? Yeah.
What am I doing in my life? Oh my
Yes.
God, it's a disaster. Oh,
Yeah.
None of that. Yeah, 2025, we only need good vibes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So true.
and discipline.
Yes.
And timetable. Okay. Okay, thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom, Tina.
Thank you for having me.
It has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
For everyone listening, if you're looking for guidance on studying abroad or need help with your education journey, don't hesitate to consult DADI Education.
Yes.
Don't mind the SOS, is study on Spotlight. But yeah, DADI Education. Please follow us on our channels or on socials on IG. And then if you guys need any help, please feel free to reach out to us. We will assist you. Okay?
You can just go to their website.
Yes. Okay. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on DADI SOS. Okay. Bye.